Hi everybody. Number one, first I just want to apologize for a couple of things. I was falling a little bit behind on some questions and making some videos. I try to answer things in the order that I receive them. So if I didn't get to your question yet, I will. You just might have to wait a little while for it. But there are definitely other ballet channels out there that you might be able to search. Catherine Morgan is phenomenal. She does really great tutorials. She could probably even answer some things better than I could. But if you like the way that I explain things and you're okay with waiting, I will get to your questions. Number two, my face is not the prettiest. It has not been the prettiest for quite a few months. I have this weird skin condition that has been misdiagnosed as rosacea for a long time, but I just met this new dermatologist. He thinks it might not be rosacea, so we're trying to get that taken care of. So if you want to just ignore my face, well, actually, you can't ignore my face today because today's video is about your head and your neck and your upper body and what it does in relation to everything else while you're dancing. So I have to note that I am trained in the Vaganova method. I give this caveat very frequently in my videos because the Vaganova method is not the same. They don't do everything the same as other methods do. There's like the Royal English training, there's Italian Cicchetti, there's French, there's Balanchine. So the things that my head is doing is correct, but there are other ways that are also correct. And it may or may not be what you are learning. But I have one friend in particular, she sometimes takes class with me, and she usually stands behind me at the bar, and she'll see me doing things with my head, and she asked me specifically, she's like, can you please go over what do I do with my head when I'm at the bar? Your head does as much work as your feet and your arms and everything else in ballet. So this could potentially be a very, very long video with a lot of details and a lot of rules. It could go on forever. So if I'm going to give you one basic, generic, like blanket tip for what is my head doing, it most of the time follows your hand. Not all of the time, but when in doubt, if you're really like, shit, what do? I don't know where my head goes, look at your hand. But again, each movement, each exercise, each position is a little different. So I'm going to briefly go over exercises at the bar, just the bar today, because in the center it becomes a madhouse with all the places that your head could be looking when you're in the center. So today, basic rules, what your head and neck and upper body, basically, maybe I should take off this shirt so you can see my upper body. What is from here up doing at the bar? So what is the first exercise you usually do at the bar? Pliés. We're going to do the standard basic 2 demi-pliés, 1 grand plié port de bras at the bar. So you start in first position. Right away, before you even start your first plié, you have a little bit of a preparation. It's the 4 counts before your first plié. So usually your arm goes 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you start your pliés. So what your head does is follow your hand. 5, 6, you do kind of look down in ballet, but you don't really. It's almost like you're hinting at looking down. You never want to do anything that breaks the line of your neck. So you never look all the way down, and you never look all the way back. You never crunch your neck like that. You almost have to feel a little snooty, like there's always air right here. You always have to keep this open and showing. Sometimes with my little kids, I tell them, pretend you're wearing a fancy diamond necklace and you want to show it off. So even when you look, you still have to be like, I'm so royal, you know? Again, there are so many details. I'm gonna try to keep it simple. Okay, pliés, for real this time. So your preparation, kind of look at your hand, slightly down, not really. Oh, hello. You can kind of tilt your chin a little bit, like you're looking on the inside of your hand, and open. I'm looking at my hand. You do your first demi-plie, kind of follow, but don't actually look down, okay? Audience should never see like the top of your head. They should always see your face. So you just did your first plie. Demi-plie, follow your hand, keep following your hand. Look at your hand, oh, so nice, so nice. Your hand is going all the way down in the palm. So port de bras, anytime you do a port de bras where you bend your body front or back, your head is to the side, at least in the Vaganova method. I don't know about other methods. So head is to the side, and you go forward. And especially here, when you do port de bras to the back, keep your head to the side when you go back. It is going to be easier on your neck if you keep your head to the side when you go back, because if you just look straight up, right away you're going to do this. You're going to do the crunching your neck and like shrugging your shoulders, and I don't know how people do this. Don't do this, okay? Keep your head to the side when you port de bras back. It's easier on your neck. It's easier to keep your shoulders down. Okay, so port de bras front and back, head to the side. So you just did your front and your back. Open, we're still looking at our hand. We're in second position now. Demi-plie, follow your hand, grand plie, follow your hand. Okay, when you do a port de bras to the side, follow your hand, follow your hand, follow your hand, but once you get like to the middle, you kind of change. So you're going, oh, I'm going this way. Come back. Same thing, other way, look. Once you hit center, change your direction, where I'm going, look where you're going, and come back. Okay, next combinations at the bar are tendus in first, tendus in fifth, and dégagés, or jetés. This is where things change a little bit. Once you start involving your leg, leaving the center of your body, your head has to accommodate that. So if I'm doing a tendu, you still do your preparation, you still do 5, 6, 7, 8. If I'm doing a tendu to the front, my head is going to act like a slight counterweight. You are going to turn your head to the side, and I don't want you to look back. I don't want you to break your neck, but I want you to almost imagine that you want to see the back of your hand. Your head is the counterweight of your leg, and your head, it also just completes the line. You know, so you have this almost like diagonal feeling, and your head kind of completes it. It's just like the little, it makes you look longer. And when you go to the back, it's the same thing. In arabesque, if your leg is going to the back, your head is to the side. Don't go so far forward that you know, your back is no longer straight, but it's almost like you're looking in the palm of your hand. So to the hand, just slightly forward, like, oh, hello, you're trying to look at the inside of your palm. And again, that's because your leg is going behind you and your head is a counterweight, and it also makes you look longer. It like finishes this line. When your leg is out to the side in second position, this is where your head can stay straight. Because you're already kind of centered. It doesn't make sense to tilt it that way. When you're in the center, you can look away from the leg if you're doing a combination en dehors, or if you're doing your combination en dedans, you look towards the leg. But again, the center is like a whole different ball game. So here at the bar, generally when your leg is to the front, head slightly open. I don't want to say to the back because I don't want you doing this, but head is open to the side, kind of completing that diagonal line. When your leg is to the back, head slightly forward. Again, don't drop your head. It's just like you're trying to look out. Look, like, what is this? And then to the side, head is straight. This also applies to not rond de jambes, but when you do fondus, frappés, développés and adagio, and grand battement. When you do rond de jambes, your leg is moving too much, and it doesn't make sense to go, ooh, you get really dizzy, and it looks really funky and unstable too. So for rond de jambes, at least while your leg is doing the circles, you generally kind of look at your hand, no matter what your leg is doing, blah, 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 do your rond de jambes. When you start to add the little like leg in the front or the leg in the back, or you want to do a little bit of this stuff, where you add the grand battements, or you add the grand rond de jambe en l'air, that's when you start adding the head and applying the head rules for those things. But when your leg is just doing circles, don't make circles with your head. Just look at your hand. When you do a frappe to the front, your head looks when your foot leaves. So they happen at the same time. They go out and out. And then when you bring it, this is going to take a lot of coordination. And frappes are really hard because they're fast and they're sharp. And you have to get used to moving your head and getting it really in your bones. But it's the same deal in frappes. When your foot goes forward, your head is out. They go at the same time. If you're doing multiple frappes in one direction, leave your head there. You can just leave it. But if you're doing like en croix, one in each direction, ultimately the goal is head open, leg open. Head stays straight, head open, leg open. Head stays straight, open, straight, open, straight. Same deal in fondue. You do your plie, and when the leg opens, your head opens. Come back, regroup in the middle, head straight. When your leg opens, well, if you're to the side, your head stays. Come back, regroup. When your leg opens, your head opens. Same thing in your développés, when you're doing adagio. Same thing in grand battements. When your leg goes, your head goes. Leg to the front, head to the side. Leg to the side, head to the front. Leg to the back, head to the side. Leg to the side, head to the front. So a lot of this is just getting used to it. There are even still little caveats to these rules too. For example, there's something called épaulement, which is when you kind of change just the placement of your whole body. So you can be a quarter turn away from the bar or a quarter turn towards the bar. And depending on what your arm is doing, you may look away from your arm and look more to the one that's on the bar. If you're doing it this way, you actually look up through your elbow. All right, I know this was a lot of information. Don't get frustrated with yourself if you don't get it right away. As late as my teens, I didn't use my head at all, and I didn't understand what my teacher was yelling at me for, because I didn't understand these rules either until much later when I had a different teacher. Those are the basic rules. When in doubt, if your leg isn't doing anything away from your body, follow your hand. When your leg is away from your body, use your head as the counterweight unless you are in second position. When you start learning different things like écarté back, écarté front, things change, but don't think about that yet. So these rules do kind of mostly carry into the center, but again, there's so much more going on in the center. There's so much more dancing, and there's so many more like little, there's just so much. So this is just your head at the bar. Okay? Thank you and good luck.